Yo, check one, check two. Yo, what's going on? It's your boy K every day. It's your boy K. Thanks for tuning in to the Unaffiliated Creators Podcast. I'm your host, KA every day. I'm just gonna go ahead and apologize now for my voice, man. I've been a little under the weather, but I just wanted to come on here and do this episode because I just recently had the opportunity to check out the documentary about Sean Combs. It was titled Sean Combs: The Reckoning, and I'm just going to kind of give a recap. I'm going to give my open, honest opinion about it. I don't think there was a lot of new information that was in the doc. I will say that they did a good job of kind of connecting all of the dots. There was a lot of things that Diddy had done, throughout his career. You would always hear little bits and pieces here and there, but then I guess, as time goes on, you kind of forget about certain things and, other things happen. But the doc did a good job again of kind of tying connecting all of the dots. I think they did a good job of, if you thought that Diddy didn't do a lot of the stuff that he was alleged of doing, after watching the doc, I think that was enough, maybe compelling evidence is the wrong word, but, they interviewed several people that were some of the closest people to Diddy. So you would think that since these people were so close to him, not unless they were all lying, and it's kind of hard to think that all of these people will be lying about what they're saying. So it just kind of leads you to believe that there had to be some truth in some of the stories or some of the things that you've heard about Diddy over the years. Of course, 50 Cent, he is one of the executive producers over the documentary, but he wasn't the only person. There was other people that was involved, but he's the most known person or the famous person that's behind putting the documentary together. Of course, there was some people that said that they think that he was being petty for making this documentary, or they were saying that he purposely went out of his way to make this documentary because, for those who don't know, I guess Diddy back in the day messed around with 50 Cent baby mama, so this was kind of 50 Cent's way of getting back at Diddy. I don't really know if that was his main motivation for doing this documentary, but if that's the case, 50, that's what he known for. If you get on 50's bad side, he gonna take it to the grave. He gonna always find a way to get back at you. He's probably the king when it comes to trolling people and stuff like that. But that reminds me, and this is one thing that I got out of the doc, and I guess I'm not going to say that I didn't notice, but I guess I never really paid attention to it. But since when did Diddy become the Mr. Steal Your Chick? Like, it just seemed like there was this consistent pattern if you looked at the doc. And there was several people. So I guess at some point he messed with, 50 Cent baby mama. When he messed with Kim Porter, R.I.P. I guess at the time she was in a relationship, but she was messing with Al B. Shore, but he went out of his way to, start a relationship with her, or he kept, finding a way, he was persistent in trying to pursue her, but while she was in a relationship with Al B. Shore. The whole thing with Cassie was in a relationship with Ryan Leslie when Diddy tried to pursue her, and I guess that whole saying, persistent pays off, I guess is true, because all of these different instances where these people or these women were in relationships, Diddy went out of his way to pursue these women, even though he knew they was in a relationship. And then at some point, I guess the persistence paid off. He wore them down. I don't know if he just wooed them with all this money and, he was able to give them this lifestyle that maybe they couldn't get with the person that they was with. I don't know. But it seemed like every woman that he locked in on at some point, he was able to get them. Now, you kind of got to blame the other side too, because, it takes two to tango. So, any of those women could have, said no, or they could have, denied him or said, no, I don't want to be in a relationship with you. But they all, at some point, they all got down with the program. So I guess the moral of the story, boys and girls, is persistence pays off. But I digress. So like I said, the documentary was well put together. there was some things that I didn't know that I found out from watching the doc. So that's always good. You don't ever want to, feel like you spent a lot of time watching something just to find out that you already knew all the information. The documentary was broken up into 4 episodes. Each episode was about an hour long, or maybe a little bit less than an hour long. So it wasn't like a real long documentary. And it was broken up, like I said, into 4 pieces. The first episode was just showing all his stuff from his child. They did a good job of painting the picture of his childhood. And kind of like his I can't never say this word right. His ideological, y'all help me out pronouncing this word. Anyway, they were showing you basically his mental process and, his childhood, things that happened to his dad. His father was murdered, but his father was I don't know if he was a drug dealer or he was a street dude. Maybe that's where Diddy got some of his hustling ways from. And then his mom, she was about that life too. So they painted the picture that he came from a family that hustling was in their blood. And then they show you the stuff that happened when he was promoting the celebrity basketball game that happened in 1989. Unfortunately, 9 people passed away. They basically got trampled. And it was a thing that he was promoting. I had kind of heard rumbles about it, but I had never really seen a lot about that. So the documentary did a good job of kind of painting that picture, telling you what it was all about, his involvement in it. Then they show you all the makings of him being an intern when he first got his start, in the record business as an intern, and then he flipped that. He got fired, and then he, started Bad Boy, him and his friend at the time. And this is another thing, and I'm guessing a lot of other people probably gonna watch the documentary probably don't know this as well. So I guess when he first started Bad Boy, his friend, he gave him 25%. He gave 75% to his mom. He purposely didn't put Bad Boy in his name because he was scared that if he made money off of Bad Boy, that all of those families from that tragic incident back in 1989, they could come back and sue him. So he purposely didn't put it in his name to prevent that from happening. Y'all give me a minute. I gotta clear my throat. Hold on. Gosh almighty. Anyway, I'm back. So people probably look at that as like, man, that's kind of crazy. But if you're just thinking about it from a solely business standpoint, I guess it makes sense because he was protecting, his interests. Another thing that I didn't know, and I thought this was kind of crazy, again, if you watch the documentary, I hate to spoil it for you. Maybe y'all did know this or didn't know this. This was something I didn't know. That his friend, I think his name was Kevin, years later, he basically went into the office and got super aggressive with this guy. He came in with a baseball bat, swinging the baseball bat around, started threatening the guy to get his 25% back. He scared the guy so bad that the guy basically signed over his 25% back over to Diddy, and that's how Diddy got it. Of course, from looking at the documentary, the guy says that he regrets doing it, but at the time he thought it was the best decision to make, and obviously he probably was scared for his life, so he probably was like, hey man, let me go ahead and sign this over, man, because this dude in here about to hit me with a baseball bat. So yeah, so the documentary is pretty good. Like I said, I think they did a good job of connecting all the dots. One thing I don't understand, and I guess this is the whole, because a lot of people say that Diddy is a narcissist, I guess is the term. This guy recorded everything. What I don't understand is if you're a person like Diddy and you know the things that you are involved in, you notice some of the conversations that you're going to have, I don't know why he was so comfortable recording everything or knowing that he was being filmed, but yet still having some of the conversations that he was having, because it just, some of the stuff that was on the documentary makes it sound like it could be incriminating. And to me, Maybe he just got so used to cameras always being on that maybe he just forgot that the cameras were rolling or something. I don't know. But it just seems like to me, before some of those conversations, I would have been like, hey man, cut the camera. And then you would have wanted to have those conversations off camera because you won't want to take the risk of this stuff being used against you later on. But again, like they say, I guess people when they're not, well, I've heard some people, and I guess it's a good argument. They say when you become so powerful, like people like Puff, that you have so much money, you have so much influence, you have so much just power and money and fame and influence and all of the stuff that comes with it. You get this godlike complex. And I mean, and the documentary did do a good job of showing this. There were several things that happened in his life that he probably either should have went to jail, he should have got in trouble, whatever the case may be, and he just kept getting away with it. He just kept either not going to prison, not getting, sued for a lot of money and all of this other kind of stuff. So when those things happen, you start feeling bulletproof. You start feeling like it don't matter what happens, that whole I'm the Teflon Don, nothing's going to stick to me. I escaped prison this time, so no matter what happens, I'm always going to keep escaping prison. But again, I just don't understand how he just could feel so comfortable on camera just having some of the conversations that he was having. But I digress. But yeah. I've also heard that Diddy's lawyers was trying to do a cease and desist on some of that footage that was in the documentary, and they was going to try to get the documentary yanked down. That was one of the reasons why I was such in a rush to hurry up and see it, because I was like, let me go ahead and hurry up and watch this thing before it gets taken off Netflix. But as of recording this video, the documentary is still on Netflix, so I guess they weren't able to get it yanked down. Not saying that they won't get yanked down in the future, but right now you can still go up there and watch it. Like I said, it's a 4-part series. It actually was pretty good. It's actually pretty sad for all the victims that was involved. I will share this with my audience. I do like I pride myself in being open, honest, and transparent with my audience. So I'm a music artist. I'm an independent music artist. And back in the day, I did try out to make one of the shows that Diddy was putting together, the group Day 26. I think that was the name of the group. I think it was 5 guys in the group. I'm holding up 4 but 5. Anyway. So, he was going around to different cities across the United States, and there was tryouts for this show. He came to Norfolk. I tried out for the show. I made it to the next to the last round, that if I would have made it through to that next round, I would have been one of the people that would have been able to go on the show. I didn't make it to the final round. But of course, hindsight being 2020, with everything that came out, it's almost like, God don't make no mistakes. God knows what he's doing. So, God was protecting me from some of the things that these gentlemen obviously had to go through. I don't know if y'all ever got to see the interview with them gentlemen, but these were grown men and they was crying on camera. So obviously, if these guys were crying on camera, obviously they suffered through some kind of trauma. I don't know exactly what it is. Maybe it's going to be some stuff that they take to the grave, but obviously they went through some stuff to the point where they was on camera crying. And if I would have made the group, God knows what would have happened to me. Obviously, I probably would have suffered some of the same trauma that these guys went through. And of course, my wife had to, be funny and make jokes about it. And she was like, I'm also one of the people that saved you from any potential trauma that you could have suffered because, and I didn't know this at the time, but when I was trying out for the show, I wasn't married at the time. Me and my wife, we were in a relationship. We were boyfriend and girlfriend. But if I would have made the group, she told me afterwards that she would have broke up with me because she just knowing her, she says that she's never done good with long-distance relationship. Because if I would have made the show, I would have been up in New York filming the show. She still lived down here in Virginia. And it would have been a long-distance relationship. But what I didn't understand, what I was trying to share with her was, I didn't see why we couldn't be in a long-term relationship because, just because I was up there filming the show, I'm faithful and I'm committed. I just figured that we could have made it work, but she was like, nah, she don't think it would have worked. So she said that if I would have made a show, she would have broke up with me. But again, God knows what he's doing. He don't make no mistakes. So I didn't make the show. Me and her continued our relationship. We eventually got married. We have 3 beautiful kids and life's good. So again, everything happens for a reason. I didn't make the group. I guess I sucked. And then of course, and it was funny. We was having a conversation. But your people's closest to you, they gonna be open, honest with you. So my wife was like, so you think you could sing better than all of the guys that made the group? I was like, you telling me out of the 5? Now, I'm not saying that I could sing better than all of the guys, but I was like, from out of the 5 guys that made the group, yes, me being open, honest, transparent, y'all, I feel, and this is no shot to them, I feel that, yes, I could sing at least better than 1 out of the 5. She was like, okay. I'm going to tell you what my weakness was. Like, again, I like being open, honest, transparent. I'm going to tell you what my weakness was. So in the trying out and making it on the show process, I don't know if some of y'all might not remember her. If you didn't watch the show, you wouldn't know who I'm talking about. But the lady, L'Oreal, I'm pretty sure that was her name. She was the lady who was in charge of coming up with all the choreography and the dance moves for the groups. One of the rounds, and I made it to this round, but I wasn't that good. I'm just going to be honest with y'all guys. Now, I actually do know how to dance, but this is taking it to another level. Let me explain. One of the things that you had to do when you made it to this round as you kept moving up through the process trying to get on the show, she would come in, she would show you this very difficult choreographed dance. It was all these different steps to it. Boom, 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 boom. You had to be able to watch what she was doing, pick it up in a matter of seconds, and then she was basically like, all right, guys, y'all ready? And then they would play the music, and then you had to basically reduplicate what she just showed you. It ain't like you got to go home and practice it and spend all of this time. Like, if you was able to do that, then yeah, anybody could do that. But just to be able to watch somebody that's a professional dancer do this very technical, several steps to this dance, and then you just had to just be able to regurgitate it was very difficult. So I was out there looking like a fish out of water. I'm like, hey, boom, boom, boom. I mean, of course I did the best I could, but I mean, I had to be honest with myself. I know I didn't do that good in that part. Now, if you had to, if you taking that, if you had to score high on that and score high on the actual singing, I probably fail. Just to let y'all know the song. So that was when you had to try for the show. I think there was like 3 or 4 songs that you got to choose from that they wanted you to sing. The song that I chose was "Can You Stand the Rain" by New Edition. I mean, I think I did good. I mean, I could try to sing a little bit. Like I said, you could tell my voice. I'm kind of under the weather, but that was the. Can you stand the rain on a perfect day? On a note that's not on you. And I need somebody who will stand by me. Now, of course, they didn't let you sing the whole song. Now, I don't remember if they let you pick the part of the song that you wanted to sing, or if you had to start singing it from the beginning. That part, man, it was years ago, so I don't really remember. But that was a song that I chose to sing. Again, I thought I did pretty good on the singing part. Obviously, I had to do pretty good because I made it through all of the rounds, all the way up to the last round. I think the dancing part kind of like threw me off. That wasn't something I wasn't really prepared for. I didn't know that was going to be something that we were going to be required to do. I mean, to be fair, I don't think any of the guys knew, but some people do it better than others. Obviously, I suck. My wife doubled down. She let me know that I suck and I didn't make the show. But again, everything happens for a reason, and I'm here to share my trials and tribulations, my downfalls, my failures with you guys. So, all of that in a nutshell, I think the documentary was a pretty good documentary. I'm not going to say that you're going to learn a lot of things that you haven't already heard. Again, I just think they did a good job of connecting all of the dots. It was well put together. It was well produced. The interviews that they did were pretty good. Yeah, so it's on Netflix. Sean Combs' The Reckoning out now. Hurry up, go watch it before they yank it down. I don't want y'all to take my word for it that it was a good documentary. I want y'all to go check it out for yourself. And I do want to leave y'all with this. Man, there was one thing that he said in this documentary that was chilling to me. I can't even believe that he said it. He was getting recorded. He was looking directly in the camera when he said it too. I'm paraphrasing, but basically he was like, the only person that I can compare myself to is God. So the hints, again, that's that whole God complex. Like he was, because it was a part, but the part that they were showing was, this is when he was in the process of trying to record the Love album, the Love project. This was the project that he was the artist. He kept trying to record this song and he kept messing up. And he was doing the whole, could you imagine, if you was, documenting, Jesus when he was trying to walk on water? And I was like, yo, is this dude tripping? And that's when he was like, yo, the only person that I could compare to myself is God. I was like, wow. So he really felt that. So if he could verbalize that, then he really, truly had a God complex. But I don't want y'all to take my word for it. Y'all go check out the doc yourself. It was crazy. Now, I'm going to be open and honest with y'all. And I do this with everything, not just Diddy. I separate the art from the person. Now, I'm not going to sit here and do the whole holier than thou. There's a lot of people out there that I'm going to use R. Kelly as an example. There's a lot of people out there when everything happened with R. Kelly, they took this hard stance like, oh, there's no way I can never listen to an R. Kelly song again. He was an animal. I can't believe that he did that. I'm not going to support him anymore because of what he did. After watching this documentary, of course, because, in the documentary, they go through and they showing you like all of the artists that he was responsible for, creating. I mean, all the way back to Jodeci, Mary J, 112, Craig Mack. The list goes on and on. I mean, he just was responsible for 75% of the hip hop in the 90s was him. I mean, he had his hand in it. If he didn't directly produce it or if it wasn't one of his artists, some kind of way he was involved with it. He had Biggie. To say that I'm not going to listen to any song that he was directly tied to, I would be lying to you. I mean, to say that, basically saying that you're not going to even listen to any other hip hop, that I wouldn't listen to any of the hip hop music that I grew up listening to because he was directly involved. And like I said, 75% of the music that was out was influenced. He did it. He produced it. He wrote the song. It was his artist. Some kind of way he had some dealing with it. So I would be lying if I said that I'm going to take that hard stance. I mean, when the Benjamins comes on, you ain't going to be like, it's all about the Benjamins, baby. I mean, come on. One More Chance remix is probably one of my favorite hip hop songs of all time. So every time that come on, I mean, I gotta be like, come on now. You Can Hate Me Now by Nas. That joint still hard. Like, to this day, that joint come on. You can't sit here and say that you ain't gonna be like, you can hate me now, but I won't stop now. But anyway, I digress, man. I just wanted to come on here and just give you my open, honest opinion on this documentary. I appreciate y'all tuning in to the podcast. Y'all be good and stay safe.